Hello people out there. Well, it's Sunday, and I wanted to relate to you a story that I heard in church many years ago. A preacher preached this as a sermon, okay? Now, it seems to me that there was a very, very wealthy widow who had one adopted son who was the sole heir to all her many, many millions, and she took cancer and she was dying, okay, and she wrote her will out and she told her adopted son that I will take care of you, okay, just wait until the reading of the will. Anyways, when he was 18 years old, she passed away, and the son was in the lawyer's office for the reading of the will, and the lawyer said, your mother wanted you to be taken good care of, so she left you this trunk, and there's a medium-sized trunk with a lock on it, and he gave the son the trunk and the key to the trunk and said, don't tell anybody about this. Just take the trunk home and open it up, and what is in there is yours, okay? And the son took the trunk on home and he said, oh boy, he opened it up and there was nothing inside except for Mom's old Bible. The son said, a Bible? A fucking Bible? That's all that cheapskate bitch left me, as a goddamn Bible? He took that trunk and he just slammed the lid down, he shoved it in the closet, and he went and he got drunk. Yeah, he went and got drunk. He was so disappointed. Well, the son enrolled in a college, and not having any money for college, he had to take a grant, and he was going to college, and the grant was pulled because of government cutbacks, and he had to drop out of college, and because he wasn't in college, he had to go into the service, and he had to fight in a war, and he lost one of his legs when he stepped on a landmine. He thought of that Bible, but he said he was just too damn bitter. He just didn't want to go in there and open up that Bible. He found a wife sometime later, and he didn't have much money because he never finished college, and he worked with a prosthetic leg, loading and unloading trucks, back-breaking work for minimum wage, and his wife got pregnant, and they had a daughter, and the daughter took ill, and the daughter needed medication, and the guy didn't have any insurance, and he went to every doctor there was, and they said, well, the medication costs a lot of money, and you don't have the money, and you don't have insurance, sorry. So the guy, well, his daughter, well, she died for lack of money. And the wife, the guy's wife committed suicide. She cut her open. She hanged herself. And he was left all alone in grief, not even able to pay for the funerals. The guy lived a hard life, thick and scratch, could barely make ends meet all his life. And he thought about that Bible. And he said, that what a good God ever did me. God hates me. I ain't gonna go look in that damn Bible, no way. Well, the guy lived a long life, a miserable life, a life of poverty. His teeth rotted out, he didn't have money for the dentist, and he just had to suffer. He didn't have money for dentures, he didn't have money for nothing. And when he got to be about 65 years old, he was getting ready to retire, and found out he didn't have any retirement coming, none whatsoever. Anyways, the man started getting headaches, and he went to a free clinic, and he found out that he had a brain tumor. And the doctor told him, you let it go too long, the brain tumor is totally inoperable, you're going to die within 30 days, I'm sorry. The guy was crushed. He said, why couldn't I have had a better life? Why? And in his misery and pain, and a big swelling on the side of his head, it was about the size of a bowling ball. He had to hold it up like that. No amount of morphine or painkiller could ease the pain. He said, I'm going to look in that Bible. There must be some answers. So he pulled the trunk out of the closet and opened up the pages of the Bible, and something dropped out. It was $1,000 bill. He turned another page. Another $1,000 bill fell out. He took and shook it, and all kinds of $1,000 bills were falling out, praise the Lord. They was falling out all over his lap. He was heaped up, and they was all over the floor. Yes, sir. And he scooped them all up, and he couldn't count them all. There were so many of them. He had many, many millions of dollars in that Bible all along. And an envelope fell out, and he opened up the envelope, and there was a letter in it, a faded letter, in his dear, long lost mother's handwriting. And she said, son, I wanted to leave you all this money to help you out in life. And I did it this way. I put it between the pages of the Bible because, well, if I had given you the money outright, the tax man, the income tax man, would have gobbled it all up and taken it all away from you. And there he was on his deathbed, on his last legs. And he died about an hour later. But I'll tell you one thing, he died friendless, lonely, poor, after having a miserable life, all because he did not open up that Bible. But he had a wonderful funeral. All the townsfolk came in. They had catering, all kinds of food, lobster, Alaskan king crab, steak, dancing girls, everything. All put on, you know, out of that money. And the person in the hospital who found his dead body in bed had paid for it out of that money and taken all the money themselves and put it away. And all the townspeople came out and they said, man, oh man, if I had known he had that much money, I would have been his friend. I would have come over when he invited me over for dinner. I would have been his friend. I would have, but he sucked. He was an asshole, okay? So fuck him. And then, when the food all ran out and all the dancing girls went home, everybody went home. And nobody put flowers on his grave. In fact, people came by his grave and spit on it and shit on it because he was such a bastard and an asshole. Anyways, didn't even get a tombstone. He just got a little marker, a little peg in the ground, showed where he was. So, so there you have it. The sad story of a guy who turned his back on the Bible and never opened it up. The end.